And we are live. It is Saturday morning, afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Could be the evening. Anyhow, I wanted to hop on here today because I have something really important to talk to you about. And this in particular is for a lot of my friends in sales. So if you're in sales, I'm talking to you. And this is important because you're working on your business plan right now. And you might have a sales plan, you might have a strategy, you might have some steps and things like that that you engage in, right? I mean, ultimately, that's what it boils down to. What are you doing to make sales, to make your numbers, to make things happen? But I'm here to tell you, you may be looking at sales the wrong way. You may be looking at sales the wrong way. And it might be for this particular reason. So, you ready to talk about it? Let's talk about it after this. All right, now that I've got your attention and I have a couple of dogs in here with me also, I have a question for you. Are you a salesperson or a process person? Because I can tell you there's a big difference. There's a big difference. And today and tomorrow, I'm going to talk about those differences and I'm going to talk about what works and really what doesn't work in sales and in process, because there has to be this blend of both. And what do I mean by that? Well, here's the reality. Here's the reality. In order to be a really good salesperson, you have to be a really good process person. Now, what do I mean by that? Sales aren't just closing a deal. A lot of people are like, I'm a closer. And yes, that's important for you to be able to get somebody across the finish line. I mean, nothing happens until the deal gets closed, right? I mean, that's the reality. Whether or not you're selling a house, and a lot of the people that watch this are in real estate, or you're selling shoes, or you're selling haircuts, or you're selling cars, or you're selling who knows what. Maybe you're just selling a contract opportunity because you're in a corporate world and you're taking it to your boss or something like that in order to make this happen. We get excited about the end game. We get really super excited about the end game so much more than we get excited about the process. Why? Because the process is monotonous. It can be really monotonous. So think about that. Think about that in your sales process. Are you trying to close the deal, or are you trying to execute on the steps in a disciplined manner? And tomorrow I'm going to talk about where we fall off of those steps. But ultimately, I want you to reference today, what I want you to think about today, how are you getting there? Are you getting there by starting the sales process and trying to get to closing, or are you getting there by starting the sales process and sticking to the process? Now, in real estate, we know this is really important because we have a lot of processes that occur, right? A lot of processes that occur. Those processes are typically known as deadlines in the contract. Now, if you're in sales and you have deadlines in your sales process and you set the expectation, number one reason why sales start to fall apart is expectations are not set. The second reason is they're not communicated appropriately. So we set expectations, we communicate those expectations. Everybody gets to win together because everybody's on the same sheet of music. So that's really what the process is about, is those expectations, mutual expectations. They're not wishes. They're actual steps in a process that we agree to stick to as we set those expectations and move along with those. So that's what I want you to think about today. What I want you to think about today is, are you a process person? Because if you avoid the process, you're never going to be a good salesperson. Okay? You might be the world's greatest closer, but don't miss the process. And if we miss the process, we're winging it. If we stick to the process in our marketing and our outreach and our prospecting, in how we deal with everything, we can scale. That's the big difference here, is you can scale a process. You can't scale just randomly doing things. So that's what I want to talk about today. So when you look at your business plan, because it's October, we should be thinking about our business plan for 2021, as well as the fact that we should be thinking about how has our business plan been executed on this year, which, by the way, you probably tore it up and threw it out the window a few times. I can tell you we've made some substantial shifts in how I plan my business. But the reality is you always have to take a step back and go, what's the process? How do we get there? If you were to take and like draw it out in little loops with arrows, or like a sales funnel or a sales process, or if you just wrote down the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so on, and you put each process next to a letter, what would lead you to the next? What would lead you to the next? So think about that as you do your planning process. You want to get to this, you start from here. What is that process? That's what I got for you today. I want to say hello to a few of my friends here. We got a lot of people on here today. Deborah, Michael, Carla, got a lot of people here. Suge, Holly. Let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about process. We got a lot of great business leaders on here today. Thank you for joining me. I will talk to you all tomorrow, and we're going to talk about where do we fall off of this process and how do we stay on it. Have a great day. Love you guys. Thanks for all you do. Just got a haircut. What do you think? Shorten it up? Feeling good? Saturday, let's get some work done.